Hi there, Panda here. Today I'm going to be bringing you something a little bit different. Normally I get quite a lot of requests for people asking me to show them or make Pokemon for them on PokéGen. So today what I decided to do was I decided to show everyone exactly how I make Pokemon on PokéGen and exactly what you're going to need. So first off, what you'll need is an SD card adapter, a micro SD card, maximum of 2 GB size. You're going to need a flash cart, a little bit like the one I'm going to show you a picture of now, which the most common ones are R4 cards, and they can be purchased online. I won't provide a description, a link in the description for that, but I'm sure you can Google it. They're quite cheap. In addition, you're going to need a DS Lite or the classic DS. You're going to need a 3DS XL or 3DS with a copy of Pokemon X or Y. You're going to need a copy of Pokemon Black or White or Pokemon Black or White 2. You're going to need a computer to do it on, and that's about it. So, if you're ready, let's start. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm just putting the SD card into the SD card adapter, and I'm going to put it inside the computer. If it'll fit. Now, once that's in there, what's going to happen is the SAV file that you've been using for your copy of Pokemon Black is going to be on there. So let's take a look. Now that you've put your save file into your computer, you can start to download PokéGen. So if you go to this link here, I'll obviously put it into the description below. At Project Pokemon, you can click this link here, and it'll come up with a little zip file like this. When you open it, you should get something a little bit similar to this, and if you press the PokéGen.exe file, you will get a box like this. Now, as you've already seen, I have a R4 flash cart, and when you play the games, it makes .sav files like this one. So, if we open up the .sav file that we've been using, it'll make something like this. And here you can clearly see all of the Pokemon in the different boxes that you have. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make a Cofagrius. I tend to find that the best place to find Pokemon files is at this website called Pokedit. Now, to download them, you just go to the Pokemon Black tab here, clearly labelled. You find the Pokemon that you want, press download, and you can download it like this. Now obviously it's as simple as clicking the link, dragging and dropping the file onto a square which represents the slot in your party or box that you want. I'm going to replace the Infernape now. So let's view the data. It's all kind of none of it's been set yet, so let's do it ourselves. To start off with, the species and the nickname I'm going to keep the same, because nicknaming a Pokemon includes using trash bites and things like that, and it can get quite complicated. And if you make a mistake doing this, then Pokebank will actually reject the Pokemon. So let's leave it blank for now. I'm going to leave it at level 100 because that seems to be the easiest option, and I'm going to go for bold nature, which means that it takes benefit to defense and loses out on attack, but we don't need that. Now I'm going to leave the held item blank, and the happiness, which you can fill in here, and you can obviously change the ability as well, but Mum is the only one that we need at the moment. You can change the form if you have things like Shaman that you want to change to Sky form, or Giratina and things like that. You can change it here with this box, but obviously Cofagrius doesn't have any alternate forms. Next, you can change which country it's come from. I'm going to leave it as this country, You know, that's obviously useful if you want to have perhaps a foreign ditto or something like that. And you can change which game it came from too, quite easily here. So for example, if you wanted a Rayquaza from Emerald, for example, that would be the place that you would pick it at. Next, you want to leave this information filled in as it came from Pokedit, because again it can get quite complicated, and if you make any mistakes, then Pokebank will pick up on it. Next, let's start filling in the EV stats. Now, I did a tutorial on this last time, and let's just kind of like, I'm going to go for a defensive build this time. So I'm going to go full with HP. Now what HP investment does is it's kind of like a balance or a mediator between having between having defensive and especially defensive investment. So that's the best kind of way to go. Secondly, I'm going to invest quite a lot in defense. In fact, I'm going to go fully defensive, and I'm going to invest the rest in special defense, I think. Okay, so now we've used up all of our EVs like this. You simply have to type the number in this slot, and the rest is done for you. Now the IVs are set to 31 as default, so we don't need to change that. Next, we're going to give it a moveset. I'm going to go for Will-O-Wisp for any kind of. I'd like to use Cofagrius as kind of like a defensive wall, so Will-O-Wisp is definitely important. I'm going to go for Pain Split and Knockoff. If you check this box, you'll be able to fill in the type of hidden power that you're looking for. For example, Cofagrigus might benefit from a Psychic type hidden power. Now, all there is left to do is to search and see if it finds one. We've taken a hit to speed, but that's okay because Cofagrigus already has quite low speed, so it shouldn't make too much difference. A lot of people like to use Cofagrigus in a Trick Room set anyway, so there's lots of ways to get around it. So now, if we click this, we'll get a Cofagrigus that is able to use Psychic hidden power, but I'm not going to use it this time. Okay, so now it's time to save it. If we save the file, the Pokemon that we've saved to the .sav file will be available to us when we plug it back into the R4 cart. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so next thing you want to do is take your SD card that you've just saved the Pokemon onto and plug it into your R4 flash card. Slap it into your DS Lite because that's what's going to take it. Providing you don't drop it, of course. Stick it in there. Open it up, boot it on. Now, I'm using Wood R4 firmware, but all different R4s come with different firmwares, so yours might look a little bit different. Take your legitimate copy of Pokemon Black, White, Black 2 or White 2 and plug it into your 3DS like this. Next, you're going to want to boot up Pokemon Black or White onto your DS Lite on your R4 card. So I'm just going to do that now. Okay. Wait for it all to load up. Okay, sweet. So, next thing we're going to do, we're going to start trading with ourselves. Now, I've already done it, so I'm just going to come out of the Union room here. This is the room that you're going to be using. So let's check if our gens have actually worked. There we go. There's Cofagrigus and Lagan, aka the drill Pokemon. And we're going to boot up Pokemon Black on our 3DS as well. Okay, so let's start entering the Union room and we can trade with ourselves. We can trade the Gen Pokemon, which would be on our DS that we've made onto a legit Pokemon, because obviously Pokemon Bank is not compatible with our 4 cards. It's only compatible with things that are going to work inside the 3DS. So let's begin trading ourselves this Cofagrigus over. It shouldn't take too long. Alright. I'm going to use make sure you've caught yourself a couple of trash Pokemon that you can trade over, that you don't mind losing. So I'm going to trade this Weavile that didn't work earlier. So I'm going to trade that over for the Cofagrigus, and that's what's going to be transferred later on. Now you obviously have to do this one by one, so it can take a little bit of time. Alright, let's boot up the PC. Now the way this works is every Pokemon in box 1 is going to be transferred over to your X or Y game. So let's take a look at what we've got in here. I've got an Arceus and Jirachi. They didn't work last time. Now the reason for that is because I kind of screwed up with the trash bites like I was talking about before. So it's worthwhile kind of taking care of that kind of stuff. So let's put Cofagrigus into the first box. There he is. Okay. Now all we've just got to do is save the game and exit out. Alright, next thing to do is download and open Poké Transporter if you don't already have it. That should take about 30 seconds to boot up. Not too long at all. Alright, so just press start. Once it's finished connecting to the server, it'll start checking the Pokemon for legality, and if everything's in order, it should be there. Now obviously this is the message that pops up if something doesn't work. I left Arceus and Jirachi in there so that you could see what happens, and obviously Cofagrigus has worked, thank God. So let's transfer it. Just select A on yes, and let's get this done. Take about 30 seconds as well. Okay, let's put Pokemon X into our 3DS now. We know that Cofagrigus is safely into the bank and being treated like a legal Pokemon. Next thing to do after you've plugged your Pokemon X in is to go to Pokemon Bank. Now download that as well. It does require a subscription, but it's only about £5 a year, so it's not a big deal. So let's put it up. Alright, that's just going to do a couple of checks as well, so that should take about 30 seconds too. Alright, select use Pokemon Bank once it's booted up, and use the game that you obviously have plugged into your 3DS. That should be pretty easy. Connect it. Alright, accept the gifts that she gives you because she loves you. Now on the top screen you'll see the transport box where you have transported your Pokemon. You want to move that down into your boxes on X and Y. Now I've made a box specifically for, ready for traded Pokemon, so because I like to do a box at a time, so it's useful to have one clear. Press X to save the changes and it should work. I'm sorry my phone keeps going off, by the way. Alright, boot up Pokemon X and let's check out if it's worked. Okay, let's open up our PC. Okay, there's Cofagrigus. Everything's worked perfectly. It's got all the movesets that I wanted and the EV spread. Okay, so that's everything that you need to know about PokéGening. Thumbs up. So if you really like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to like the BeardBrains Facebook page and the Project Arcanine Facebook page. If you need any more help or tutorials on Pokemon or video games, you can go to those two pages and see my weekly updates about videos. So a link to everything will be in the description. Again, thanks for sticking around if you have been curious about how to do this method yourself, and I hope to see you guys next time. Keep it real.